of the Week preview show. Brought to you by Metro PCS.
Week 10 of the high school football season here on UTV 44. Metro PCS was where we're at here for our pregame show. We're out on Airport Boulevard. We'll tell you about some of the other locations they have around the Mobile and Baldwin County areas later on. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, as we get ready for our matchup tonight. You know, a game that we'll get into certainly much later wasn't probably on the radar about a month ago for us, but now we've got Murphy and Davidson tonight here on UTV 44. Very excited about that. Also, you know, last week we were at Bayside. First time ever going over to little, you know, Eastern Shore Wrigleyville, as you referred to it as, for the game on Friday night. What a great experience we had.
It really was. Not only a great experience and getting a chance to meet the Bayside and T.R. Miller people and staffs and teams, but also good football. I mean, I know it's 3A. They don't have as rosters as deep as you're going to see tonight, for instance, but teams that were well coached, well prepared, competed very hard. And it was a great, entertaining night. And then we could look across the street and see people on their veranda having some sort of a cocktail party, watching the third quarter. So it was a little Wrigleyville-esque.
Really a great setup there. And so Bayside's going to end up being the number 3 seed in all likelihood in that region, and T.R. Miller would be number 2. It was really fun to see that storied program of T.R. Miller. We saw him, you know, a few years ago in a UMS matchup in the playoffs, but now Coach Andrew Thomas comes in there and, you know, knows he's replacing a legend, and Coach Riggs, and said, hey, you can't do that. But he's not taking a backseat to anybody. You can tell he has control over where that program is going.
Yeah, I think we were both impressed when we met Coach Thomas. He's not coming in limping or apologizing or anything like that. He took over the program, and the program is his. And while he's a young guy, you know, some guys got it. And it looks like this is a gentleman that's going to be a really good coach for a really long time. And then, of course, at Bayside, we had you know, just great things to say, and you know, as we watch that team prepare and play very hard.
Yeah, Coach Lazenby, that team went to the finals last year, lost in the finals, and then you know, they've been injury problems and they're a little beat up, but I'm sure they'll have a big run coming up here in the playoffs, and the season's going forward as well. All right, so tonight, excited about, you know, we've been wanting to see. We've seen Murphy a couple times. We've been wanting to see Davidson, trying to get them on the schedule. It finally lines up tonight. And it's not like, hey, we're just getting Davidson on, suddenly going up against a Murphy team that's won 4 in a row.
Yeah, this is a team that's winning games. A lot of these games are close and tight. But I think that said something for you. We saw them lose a heartbreaker against Baker, and that really could have been at a time of the season. At that point, I think they may have been 1-3, and it could have easily been a spot where collectively as a group, they just stopped giving, you know, 100% effort, and suddenly the barn door's wide open. That's been exactly the opposite. So hats off to Murphy and the team showing a lot of resilience down the stretch, and now they're playing for playoff position.
Yeah, they're battling injuries as well, and we'll talk a lot about that as we get ready for the matchup here tonight. But this Davidson team, that's the one we really want to get a peek at. You know, Coach Fred Riley, we've just loved Fred since we've been doing this. Haven't seen him for a few years, and like we said, nothing personal, and he'll joke about it too, but it really is going to be great to have him and the Warriors back on TV tonight.
I'm kind of surprised you brought all that up on the air. But Riles has been gone for a while, but Riles is back, and his team is really, really good. And what a game that,
and
you
a different team. I want to talk to him. It's a different team now, too.
Yeah, and the game they had last week, you wonder, you know, these kids again are so resilient, but a 50-49 win against Jackson, where you think the gas tank is empty. We'll talk to Fred about how he's regassed his team up for a big region game.
Yeah, down 18 3 times in that game and came back to win 50-49. And if you saw the highlights, it was just crazy. Hey, Metro PCS, we're at 7335 Airport Boulevard. If you're a Davidson fan, same location here, or you can go down Airport Boulevard some more, 3766 Airport Boulevard or 2206 Airport Boulevard. Lots of places there. If you're a Murphy fan, Spring Hill Avenue 1270 or the 2206 Airport Boulevard location. We'll come back here and get you ready for the big matchup. 7A football tonight on UTV 44. Davidson and Murphy coming up in about 25 minutes with the kickoff. High school football here on UTV 44 tonight. Our game of the week. We're at Ladd. Second time this year?
Second time?
Yeah. These guys, Davidson taking on the Murphy Panthers here tonight on UTV 44. Cephas Johnson, quarterback, going to South Alabama, and Fred Riley, our coach. And we're just talking about how great it is to have, you know, in the stories we were telling off the air, the memorable Fred Riley moments. There's so many, Dan Brennan.
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of memorable moments on the air. We've had a lot of memorable moments not even close to a camera or a live microphone. but a good friend of ours, and congratulations on a great season, and we're so glad for you and the Warriors.
Appreciate y'all having us this week, and looking forward to your coverage.
Probably, we were mentioning in the opening segment there, a little bit different Davidson team that we're going to see than maybe the viewers that have been with us a long time are used to seeing coming out in the black and gold.
Sure, I mean, you know, and you know, you go back to 2004, and I made the statement publicly. I wanted, what kind of offense are you going to run? And I said, I want to run an offense that if we need to throw the ball for 300 yards a game, we can. Or if we're going to run it for 300, we can. And you know, the 300 came, but the running, but the throwing never did. And, you know, and he came out to practice a couple of times and realized we couldn't defeat air throwing the football. It was not that we did not want to do those things. It's just we could not do those things, and we had to build our system around who we had. And you know, but then this guy came along, and two nice, tall, wide receivers, and a running back that can run the ball downhill, and a slot receiver that can make people miss, and all of a sudden you have all the ingredients of being able to be a complete offense and do the things that we said we'd like to do. And you know, we threw for 410 yards last week. I don't think we threw for 410 in 2006.
I was going to say, I don't think
you
so.
know, that whole season, I don't think the whole year. And but we also ran for you know, 150. You know, in that game, and it's been flip-flopped some this year. We've had 300-yard games rushing, so the ability to do to be a complete offense is the first time we've really been complete, and it starts at quarterback. There's no question.
David Morris, friend of ours, has done a couple of games with us here and has just been raving about this young man. You talked about, you know, what he brings, being able to throw the football, but you know, whenever you see a successful quarterback at any level, it's also the intangibles. And I met him. He came up to the press box in the Blunt McGill game. We talked a little bit, and you quickly noticed what kind of young man you're dealing with here.
No question. And he was always that kind of young man. It was just the fact that he came to high school at 13 years old and was a scrawny little runt. You know, and in between his sophomore year and junior year, he went from 6 foot 165 to 6'4", 190. You know, and
Coaching got easier,
young man.
Coaching got easier.
But he still hadn't played any. His sophomore year, he had knee surgery his sophomore year, right? So his freshman year is 13. His sophomore year, he has knee surgery. It's probably as much growth-related as it was anything.
Wow.
Then all of a sudden he walks by you, and his shorts are about right here, and his school pants are about right here. And like, you know, I think you're getting bigger. And about midway through last season, we gave him the keys to the car and said, we know we've got a chance next year to have a really good football team. This guy's got to play. And we turned it over to him then.
Cephas Johnson, talk about the year you've had. The Warriors, such a great year, 7-1, the only loss, the triple overtime thriller to McGill. But just talk about you and your team, how this season has come together for the Warriors.
We put in a lot of work during the off season. We spend a lot of time together on and off the field. But we just like playing together. We have a really good brotherhood. We're really tight, good with each other off the field also. We just like being with each other.
Cephas, do you think is it the athletic side that comes easier for you, as opposed to you are the leader of this team?
Yes, sir.
And that's a lot to put on anybody. Oh no, excuse me. That's the leader. It's the coach. As a player, you're the leader, and is that a lot of responsibility, or do you welcome that?
Oh yes, sir. It is a lot of responsibility, but I think that my teammates trust me. How I've worked for the past couple years, I think that I've gained their trust, and I trust them, and I think that played a big part in that.
18 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions on the year. Going up against Murphy tonight, I mean, you kind of know Murphy and Davidson get together. It's going to be a close game. Like that just seems like that's always the case. But you know, a month ago we were looking at the schedule, and Murphy was kind of struggling a little bit trying to get the ship righted, and now all of a sudden now they seem to be got it going together, and now they're trending in the right direction again.
Right. We every week as a staff on Sunday we talk about the scores in the region of everybody and look where everybody's at and sort of guesstimate where everybody's going to be. And when Murphy beat Saraland, which was the pivotal moment in their season, I mean, as you said earlier, it was Fisher cut bait for them right there.
You're right.
And when they won it, you know, we talked about it as a staff and said, guys, these guys will be on a 4-game winning streak when we play them. Probably it'll end up being the TV game. We take care of our business. And because they're going to be right there playing for a playoff spot. We're going to be sitting there playing for second place, probably ranked in the top 5. And I looked at the schedule. You never know whether really good games. So so we had a pretty good shot. And,
you give this a lot of, you give this more thought than we do.
There you go. I was very thorough in this. And sure enough, there they go. I mean, and they're close, but they find a way to win close games. They find a way to make big plays and get teams off the field when they need to. They find a way to convert third downs in must situations, and so they've won 4 games in a row, and they're right where we thought they'd be.
And I know we got to get to a break, but you know, one thing that has changed too. Talk about a little bit just Davidson High School as a whole has changed. I mean, it's a different high school than it was just 3, 4, 5 years ago, and the changes, maybe besides your roster size and some of that, though, I mean, tremendously positive for Davidson High School.
Right. I mean, and you'll do that when you get the academic information and when you see the TV commercial that we put together. I mean, you know, we're number 1 in Mobile County schools and ACT scores. We're number 1 in Southwest Alabama in national merit semifinalists. Our high Q team wins the championship every year now. I mean, academic, our IB program, our robotics team, our engineering school, all those things are the best of the best in local schools. And now, has it had an impact on us football-wise? Certainly. I mean, you know, 4 years ago, we had 150 people in our football program. We have 90 now, and it is a different clientele. We'll dress 58 tonight. Wow. And you know, and that's from dressing, you know, 90 4 years ago. So it is a different school, a different way of doing things, and you know, and we just have to find a way to win football games with the clientele we have.
Well, and they've done it. They're 7-1, ranked number 5 in the state right now.
Every week he lets him dress.
Yeah, well, yeah, that helps.
I think that's really,
If
important.
we dress 57, he ain't the one missing.
All right, we'll have Coach Riley here in the last segment as well. Steve, it's great to meet you. Be safe out there tonight. Come back. We'll talk about the Murphy side of tonight's matchup between Murphy and Davidson tonight here on UTV 44. Here in our Metro PCS pregame show, 7335 Airport Boulevard is where we are at tonight, getting ready for the big matchup between the Murphy Panthers and the Davidson Warriors. And Rick Cawley, head coach, not able to be with us, dealing with a little family situation right now. So assistant coach John Williams is with us. Neil Farrell, big defensive end, who we're going to see a lot on the field here tonight, and enjoyed watching this young man play for a few years. And you're just, coach, you're way more nervous for the TV thing that Rick dumped on you than the football game you got coming up later, right?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
All right, so talk about the way your team has responded this year. And Coach Riley was just talking about the Saraland game was a pivotal game because, you know, we're losing some close games, some heartbreakers early, had the tough loss against McGill, and then now it seems like you've got that good wave of momentum on the good side right now.
I think the Baker game was a pivotal point for us. I know we lost the game, but when we came back, we felt like the kids played incredibly hard. And a couple of our coaches came in and said, you know, if they will just play like that, we'll rattle off 4 in a row, and hopefully we'll be sitting in this position that we're in now. And they've done just that with the work that they've put in.
I don't think John was looking at the TV schedule matchups like Fred Riley was, probably. But it's just getting the, you know, I think we're probably all guilty of it. We watch football on Friday nights here, and we forget sometimes that we're dealing with very young men. Yeah. And getting them to get on that same page and play that same way is such a big part of coaching at this level.
Oh, absolutely, you know. But all of our guys, they really like each other a lot. They really, they enjoy each other's company. And sometimes they like each other too much. They're too nice to each other out there on that practice field. We get on them all the time to try to get them to engage one another. But being young men, you know, you forget, you look at them and you look at a guy the size of that, and you realize, how old are you, Neil? 18. You know, he's only 18 years old. Right. So. It's tough to get them going sometimes.
Yeah, it's like your eyes are playing tricks on you. Neil, talk about the way the team has responded and the way the team has played here in the last 4 weeks to kind of turn the season around and give you a chance now for a big game against Davidson. What's been the difference?
We really got off on a slow start, practices with no energy. After we lost a certain amount, we really just started coming to practice, working harder, staying longer practices, and just putting in more work.
So it does, to you, even as a player, you realize that it starts on the practice field.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Talk about the process that you've gone through, the recruiting process. Have you enjoyed that? Did you like going through it? We've talked to some kids who really, they enjoyed. Others are just like, I want to get this over with. How has the process been for you?
Well, it was fun while it lasted, but I wanted to focus on my senior football season, so I committed before the season, get that out the way and focus on my season.
The phone's probably still ringing, though, I'm guessing. They're still ringing. Looking at this Davidson team, and we were talking about it with Fred about how it's a different team than we've seen in the past, but boy, they have been just one of the pleasant, I don't know if we want to say surprises, but just how well they've played here this year. A lot of people have taken notice of the Warriors.
You know, it wasn't a surprise to us at all. We saw what they had coming up. We saw the young players that they had 2 years ago, and just the progressions that they've made. And when you watch them on film, the one thing that really stands out is how incredibly hard their players play. So that's what we preached to our guys, at least on offense, was that you're going to have to bring that same energy, that you're going to have to match their intensity. Otherwise, they'll do like they've done a lot of teams. They'll run you out of the stadium.
Well, you know, we made a big deal tonight, obviously, as a guest out of the Davidson quarterback, but Murphy's got a pretty good athlete and quarterback that runs the offensive show, too. Talk about him. Yeah,
he's a big guy. He's 6'2" or so. I don't know exactly how much he weighs. He runs really, really hard and fast, so we're happy about him.
Yeah. It's going to be a matchup we'll enjoy watching all night tonight. Now, Neil, how about chasing around Cephas over there? I mean, if you're looking at film, what do you see when you see him as the quarterback you're going to see out there?
Oh, he's one of the best quarterbacks we're going to face in every reason, so I know I got to put in work.
When you look at the matchup here tonight, knowing its playoff implications already, it's almost, and I think Coach Cawley may have mentioned it a few weeks ago, it's almost like your team has been in the postseason now for a few weeks.
It sure has felt like we've had our backs against the wall for sure. So the kids have responded well, and we're happy with the outcome over the last 4 weeks. Although our hearts have been beating really fast at the end of every game. I think every one of them has come down to the very last play. So
in special teams, you know, made some great special. I know you coached special teams, blocked a couple of kicks last week. I believe extra point field goal maybe. I mean, special teams. Fred Riley. I mean, he has won some regions, some games over the years on special teams. I think there'll be a special teams chess match taking place a little bit for tonight's game as well.
Oh, I hope not, because if it is a chess match, he'll win. So, you know, he is who he is. And we just try to be sound in everything that we do. And that's in all three phases of the game. That includes special teams.
You know, I'm just excited that we've got this rivalry game, that we've got a big game. It's going to be at Latin People's Stadium. We're going to have so many great athletes on the field. So these teams at this point of the season are probably playing as well as they can be playing. People are probably fit into the positions now where the coaches say, yeah, that's where he belongs. Right. The schemes are all figured out. Now we're probably going to have a chance to see teams at their very best.
I agree. And you see, certainly Davidson's been playing there. We talk about how Murphy has responded. And you're right. I mean, week 10, I mean, if you don't have it together by this point, it's probably not happening.
Right.
And so already thinking about postseason and things like that could take place. John, stay here. We got some silly questions to ask you here in the last segment with Coach Riley. Neil, great to meet you. Be safe out there tonight. We're here at Metro PCS. We're at the Westmobile location, 7335 Airport Boulevard. If you're a fan of the Davidson Warriors, 3766 Airport Boulevard or 2206 Airport Boulevard for Metro PCS. If you're with the blue and gold here from Murphy, 1270 Spring Hill Avenue or 2206 Airport Boulevard. When we come back, we'll get you ready for kickoff, but not before we talk to our coaches. Fred Riley and John Williams will stay with us as we get ready. Murphy and Davidson tonight, 7A matchup on UTV 44. Metro PCS pregame show, getting ready for the UTV 44 high school football game of the week, and we are excited to get this one underway. John Williams filling in for Rick Cawley is here in the pregame show with us. Fred Riley here, and Coach, I know we're going to see a lot of pink on the field tonight. Breast cancer awareness. I know we always talk about everybody who knows someone who's been touched by cancer or breast cancer, but certainly you know it firsthand with your lovely wife, Susan, and this has always been a big part of the Davidson Warriors here in October.
Right. And you know, we started this in 2009. Susan was diagnosed in September of 2009, and our players wanted to do this. I mean, it wasn't the kind of thing that we were going to do or bring attention to ourselves, and our players came to us and said, we'd like to do a pink out on behalf of Ms. Riley, and so we started, the players started that in 2009, and it's grown to where each year we've raised over $1,000 and have a pep rally on Friday and give that money to the American Cancer Society. Our players, we allow them to wear whatever pink they want to wear, and we also talked to them today about the fact that, you know, it's not Halloween. I mean, you know, you wear that pink for somebody. How many of you, you know, have somebody in your family have breast cancer? It was 100%. You know, how many of you had somebody pass away from breast cancer? It was 70%. Wow. You know, so it impacts so many people. And so, well, you wear that pink for somebody, not for yourself. And remember that when you start dressing up. That, you know, you can trick or treat later this month. And it's been a big part of our program since 2009, and as has Susan.
And you know, just another lesson that high school sports teaches that has nothing to do with playing football.
Yeah, and we've had a chance at UTV 44 to amplify that message and to give it some, you know, a lot of viewership. So it's been our pleasure too.
All right, here we go. Our silly questions we always do to wrap things up here. It won't be too long. I'll start you, John. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Oh, milk chocolate.
Dark.
Yeah. Don't be like that to the young. He's just filling in.
I'm sorry, he's just being honest. He's just answering honest.
like that at
honestly,
all.
kittens or puppies, Riles?
Puppies.
Puppies.
If you said kittens, we were really going to have an issue.
He likes kittens.
I like him.
He likes
both.
kittens eating milk chocolate.
All right, let's see. Stones or the Beatles?
Beatles.
Stone.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Age difference here, big time.
All right. Any pregame ritual you got to do on a Friday night?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
I drink an energy drink as fast as I possibly can.
Did you have one on the way here? Because it seems like you might.
No, it's only on game night.
Okay, good.
Only on game night.
Two things. I take a nap from 1:30 to 3 o'clock every Friday in my office, and I listen to a 30-minute AC/DC set pregame.
Nice.
I've seen him take a nap during the third quarter.
Wow, that was just one time. That was one game. All right, which high school football coach in our area would make the best president, since we had a big debate this week?
The best
Who would be the
president?
best president?
Oh, Terry Curtis.
Go ahead and say it.
Go with the older one.
Coach Riley.
Oh,
There we go.
look at that. All right, what makes you cry?
Oh, my wife does sometimes.
Unbelievably, sports movies when somebody overcomes at the end and wins the deal, and I get all choked up at that. I don't cry at funerals, I cry at that.
May I answer?
Yeah.
The thought of Riley being president.
That will not.
I may
do it.
cry on the way to the stadium.
All right, we're going to head up to the press box. John, thank you. Did great filling in. Coach Riley, so great to have you and the Warriors back on. Kickoff coming up in just a few minutes. Davidson and Murphy right here tonight on UTV 44.